youthfulness, vitality, and immortality. The first thing that I'm noticing, I'm just reading the energy patterns in the group, that's all. The first thing I'm noticing is a sweet, kind of poignant desire. It's like reading the element of desire within each physiology to how the blueprint for that would look for each one of us. It's just a little different for each person, but the sincerity and the dedication of each person in the group to allow or to make this happen, to support its happening. So it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And that's the first thing. And that, of course, that energy is presented to the source of creation for the sake of activating that eternal kind of cosmic level of our own intelligence in order to set a foundation for this work that we're doing. And I'm just asking if it's all right on the note of the foundation that I share at this time the healing and also some insights about setting a foundation for all healing activities, because the space that we position ourselves in, the space in which we position for the sake of energy healing, is essential for success in the process. So a lot of people I'm feeling are like, oh yeah, I've already kind of established my space. We established our space in silence. Yes, very good that we established our space in the silence. But it's also, there's a potential as yet to be expressed in the healing space, in that fundamental construct which contains or holds, it makes possible the expression of all the laws of nature associated with the energy healing process and with the healing process in general, like all the layers of healing from the subtlest level all the way up to the physical material level. Because that healing space is so safe, it's so comfortable, it's so yoked to truth, it's so yoked to Dharma, it's so well established in the layers of resource that it's very nice to have that healing space present and functional always. It can do that. This is part of the potential of your healing space. And your healing space, my healing space, our healing space, it is understood viscerally. It is felt. We feel it. It is like the Vaijas, the Ayurvedic doctors, when my children were very tiny, said that the little tiny child needs to stay close to the mother at night, because nighttime is a scary time for little children. We've talked about this before. And when the little child curls up with the mom like that feel right there, that safe space, that feeling of being so held in the arms of absolute comfort and protection and nourishment. And whatever you do is adored. You're just adored for being, and it's okay. It's okay. As I said at the beginning, it's like a musician. You like flub up a little bit, you just keep right on going. It's no worries. Oh yes, I intended to do that, and on you go. So yeah, that quality, that level of experience that everything that happens is happening in the context of divinity expressing itself. So that quality of the safe space, that feel, and when I say feel, what it means is that we are understanding our safe space through the sense of touch. And we start by experiencing it at like the dense, gross sense of touch, like just the feeling of like being in a like fetal position, sort of like all curled up and cozy, under thick, cozy blankets on a cold winter night, that kind of cozy feeling. But as awareness goes to deeper, more abstract levels of consciousness through the sense of touch, we touch the feelings in the heart, which were the feelings that were coming up at the beginning of our session. Each person's intimate sense of what they feel like when the body is completely vital, completely robust, completely well. And it feels as the awareness starts to soften into a deeper level of experience, I'm noticing a purification and a release of some deep, deep, heartfelt pains, deep pain in the heart, deep pain in the heart. So I'm just taking a read on that as it's being released. And I'm taking a read on it in order to both describe to you the process that's happening, but more importantly, the antidote. More importantly, what is healed. And what I see here is a long-held tradition, particularly in the West, but a long-held tradition for many generations of believing that it is inappropriate for a person to love themselves too much. Especially for a person to love their looks too much, love the way their body is too much. You know, it's not appropriate to stand and just gaze into the mirror for long periods. It's not appropriate to stare at other people's bodies either, right? It's not appropriate. There's a lot of taboo, and there's a lot of cultural conditioning around not accepting your gifts, at least not outwardly accepting your gifts. I remember as a young person hearing words like, oh, she thinks she's cute. Oh, like, oh, if she likes herself, then I'm not going to like her. You know, like if you like yourself, other people won't like you very much. And the thing is that it's a deep thing because it slides in at an early age. And it slides in, it slides in around 3 or 4 years old. And that's about the time that people realize that if they hold on to their intimate connection to the heavenly realms, to their refined perception, to their connection to their powers, their connection to their glories, then one will be outcast, then one will be ridiculed. That in order to fit into this world, and every child, I saw all my children go through it. They had like full past life recall. They had so many gifts and abilities. They were magic little creatures. And then they hit about 3 or 4. And then, I mean, I did my best to sort of kind of hold space for them, to keep that connection to their magic, to keep their connection to their memories of heaven, so to say. But this world wasn't letting it. This world wasn't having it. So we're going into the heart of the being back at that point. And boy, people are just so cute when they're little, right? They're so cute. You were all cute. We were all cute when we were little. And at that point, healing that pain, that feeling of, oh, if I really cherish and delight in myself and love myself, and this is what happens about age 3 or 4, right? The child gets happy and excited about something, and they start squeaking and bouncing off the walls a bit, and the parents tell them to be quiet, right? Like, no, you can't be that happy. That much happiness isn't appropriate in our world. I mean, ideally, children are taught to channel the happiness, to direct it in ways that are really, really creative and life supporting. That's the idea. But that's not always what happens. What often happens in the moment, guests come over to visit and everybody gets happy and excited. And then the children are too loud and the parents tell them to be quiet, right? I mean, these are the kinds of experiences. And then the child is like, well, I was just like excited because, my uncle came to visit or whatever. We're holding space to heal those little hearts and to integrate the experience of self, of the body and the expressions as being pure divine expression. Oh, and you need to find another word because we don't want to use expressions twice, but you get the idea that pure divinity, the body is pure divinity. So think about if God gave you a gift, like God gave you a gift, a really cool gift, like an amazing gift, something incredible, then it would be better to cherish that gift. That's the best thing to do, is to cherish it. But instead, cultural conditioning tells us that if we like ourselves, if we like the way we look, or we think we're pretty or beautiful, that's just not being humble and that's not being socially acceptable. Nobody's going to like you if you do that. So it's a bit of a conundrum. And because the pattern gets set in around ages 3 and 4, to do whatever we can to fit into cultural conditioning so that we can be successful, so that we can have friends, so that people will like us. It gets stuck right there. It gets stuck. Then when it happens as a teenager, teenagers are just lovely beings, very beautiful beings. My daughter, we live about half a block from the high school, and she was going to high school, and this was a gathering place for teenagers from 4 years of high school, and they let each other be pretty. They do. The teenagers allow each other space to feel beautiful and to feel pretty, even quietly, even when the rest of society doesn't always allow that. And that's why a lot of friendships that form in high school can be really long friendships, can go a whole lifetime. Because they were able to hold each other's space, to adore their bodies and to feel beautiful and to just revel in that and to be all right with it, to feel safe, and that people will like you even if you feel beautiful. It's okay. So this is a healing. This is restructuring these moments when awareness dares to focus on the physical body and allowing the flow of appreciation, acknowledgement, reverence, adoration, and cherishing of this gift, of the physical body gift. Also, forgiveness is flowing. Forgiveness is flowing from our healing collective out to the larger collective, and particularly back to individuals who were dominating or I would say, were helping us construct our belief systems when we were little. Because those individuals were just following the form that they had learned from their teachers. and the gift flows. This is so beautiful. Ah, you guys, this is where it gets so luscious. I love our healing collective. So what happened is we had that adjustment to be able to let go of all those old beliefs and all that old conditioning of thinking. And most of it was happening, I'd say, in the heart area, essentially, but also kind of a mix between beliefs and heart-centric experience, letting go of the conditioning that it's not okay to revel in the beauty and glory of your physiology. And then the forgiveness became the vehicle by which that impulse of truth, this reforming, we're revitalizing truth, basically. The truth is the body is the gift of the divine, and it would be valuable for the body. It would be valuable for everyone, for your health, for your well-being, for your psychological well-being, to cherish and treasure such a gift, to treasure such a gift, to treasure it. That goes out through our healing collective to the larger collective. It's moving through time and space. It's particularly touching the hearts of those individuals who were our teachers when we were little, so that those particular individuals who are responsible for that original conditioning benefit from a reply through the astral field, a reply through space and time to support an upliftment of their own ability to cherish and adore their physiologies. And I'm seeing something that looks kind of like dominoes knocking down, like boom, 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 boom. It goes to them, and from them it goes to their next, and to the degree. Oh, beautiful. Yes, that it's to whatever degree it can move through the field of human conditioning and cultural constructs. And another answer is coming back. So we sent out this wave through space and time, first to those people that were our teachers, and then from them to their teachers, and them to their teachers. Now a wave is coming back, an answer is coming back. And what it's saying is, if people like their bodies too much, there's this fear, there's this deep-seated fear in the collective that people will get too caught or too kind of gripped by the physical material expression of themselves, and they will lose connection to the source of themselves. Another wave is coming back saying, yes, but a lot of souls also have chosen in this lifetime physiologies that didn't like reflect social standards of beauty so perfectly, in order to evolve skills of social skills, in order to evolve the ability to care for others in such a way that their looks alone don't. Oh yes, beautiful. She's saying there's a difference between narcissism and unconditional love. Absolutely, absolutely. And that difference right there is related to the ego, because I'm so happy to be able to bring this. This is one of the downloads that came in. Thank you for that point about narcissism and unconditional love. The ego in New Age circles and in awakening circles is often vilified as that aspect of self which stops us from totally surrendering to wholeness. Individual ego, in holding on to that sense of individuality, is what stops us from surrendering to the wholeness of Brahman. May I offer the suggestion that ego is a spectrum that ranges from the totality of creation all the way to that point where the five senses are witnessed. If we think of individual ego, sense of self, is that sense of who is witnessing this experience through the integration of these senses. So that's at the gross material level, right? Gross senses. Who is witnessing it? That's individual ego. From there, all the way to cosmic, universal witnessing of all that is, and finding totality in every point in creation. So witnessing totality in the infinite points of creation. And that, all of that spectrum, all the way from one end to the other end of the spectrum, is all ego and is all within the range of possession of a human being. We have the potential to understand ourselves as the entire spectrum. It's not that we like get rid of individual ego. It's not that we reject it. It's that it integrates fully with the entire spectrum of expression or understanding of self. And there are definitely times when approaching a problem or situation from that point of I am the witness of the culmination of my five senses in this moment, right? In the here and now. I am like, I have to make words, right? I'm making words. And so there's a part of this ego that is in that spot and has to anchor in that spot in order for me not to lose you. but in that spot, there is the integrated understanding that the entire spectrum is also present. Yeah, I love you guys. Love you guys. So upgrade for the ego right there.